I got something else on my mind that I want to say. People think I'm joking when I say I have nothing against the Cowboys. It's their fans I absolutely despise. I can't stand these people. They make me sick. There's nothing worse than a Cowboy fan. Absolutely, positively nothing. Let's put this in its proper perspective. They are 3-7 as of yesterday, last night. Their last win was October 11th. They went 1 month and 11 days without winning a damn game. They had a 2-7 record walking into yesterday. They have the worst defense in football. Their 2-7 record only has them relevant because they are playing in the worst division in the history of the National Football League. And yesterday at 7 p.m., I get a call, y'all. My boy Mark Turner lives in New Jersey. My teammate at Winston-Salem State University. I love him like a brother. That's my man. Do you know during football season, we don't talk? I refuse to return his calls. I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to see him. I love him. I love his family. I won't talk to none of them. Do you know why, Ryan? Do you know why, Max and Molly? Yesterday at 7:15, at 7:15, I got a call from Mark Turner. Mark Turner with his trifling no good self, even though he's my boy. And what does he say? We're going to win a division. And guess what? We're going to the playoffs, and we got a shot at the Super Bowl. Now, you would think with that stench that would put skunks to shame. Okay, that's how much the Dallas Cowboys have stunk this year. With Dak Prescott getting hurt, with Andy Dalton going down, but chewing out his offensive lineman going. Andy Dalton, the modern day Richie Cunningham from the Happy Days, was going off on his offensive lineman because of how awful they was. And then they got some dude named Ben DiNucci as a starting quarterback. And then after that, some rookie named Garrett Gilbert or making his first start. You would think with all of that going on, that you would have the decency to shut the hell up. No, not Cowboy fans. No, not them. Now they got a chance because the Eagles are stinking up the joint, because the Washington football team doesn't even have, they're so bad they don't even have a name, okay? They don't have a name, all right? They're the Washington football team. They didn't even put D.C. next to them. We don't know if it's Washington as in Pacific Northwest or D.C. for crying out loud. And then, of course, the Giants. True. Joe Judge is doing a great job and the future's bright, but they're not there this year. This is what we have to deal with when it comes to Cowboy fans. So to answer the question directly, what's going to define success for them is irrelevant past Christmas by default because they are in the worst division in NFL history. But they don't care. They don't care about the truth. All they care about is they get to say, how about them Cowboys? I despise them. No, I can't stand a Cowboy fan. They make me sick.
Many people in the TV world have been asking you to do more of this, and it's pretty obvious why. We're listening to you break it down this morning. I know you're in California this morning. You spend a lot of time there in Idaho and Key. I was near Carson's place. I'm not going to reveal Carson's location, but I was at a restaurant called the Pioneer Saloon. Big place, taxidermy, deer, all that stuff on the wall, prime rib, the baked potato. The article recently written, Carson actually gave the commencement speech at the high school there, the community school, doing great things in the community there. And I think somebody was at the restaurant, Carson, correct me if I'm wrong, and they recognized you and they said, wait, Carson Palmer from USC? And they sent over a bottle of wine. Do I have that right?
How do you, you have speakers and cameras everywhere. How do you know this stuff?
Carson, I'm telling you, he does it every damn show with us. We're like, where does that come from?
He's very sneaky.
I cannot reveal my sources, but it is great that, look, you won the Heisman Trophy, 2002, right? Who's your Heisman Trophy? Who are you going to vote for? Because you got a lifetime vote as a winner.
This year, that's a really good question. It's been so hard to watch college football. It seems like every other game's getting canceled. I don't know right now. There's so much football that needs to be played and so little football that's been played so far. My Trojans have only played 3 games, and we beat Utah on Saturday night, and it was Utah's first game in November. So if I had to pick somebody right now, I would throw Keaton Slovis in there. He's played really, really well, the quarterback at SC. And when he's needed to, at the last down of the game and the last second of the game, he's found a way to get his Trojans to 3-0. So that's where my pick is right now, but there's still a lot of college football left to be played.
Fight on, Key?
Yeah, well, Carson knows what to do. I don't even need to say anything. Carson knows what's right. He knows who to pick.
Great stuff. Keaton
Over a bottle of wine? How do you know that?
I cannot reveal my sources, but I would definitely recommend the Pioneer Saloon if you're ever in Ketchum, Idaho. Carson, thank you so much for joining. It was great to catch up with you.
Thanks, fellas. Have a great day.
All right, Carson.
You too, Carson.
Great guy. Carson Palmer. So here we go. Monday Night Football. You kind of mentioned it, Jay. BA.
I'm still in awe. How did you find that location? How do you?
Well,
he
I've
was
been there.
up there backpacking or something, right?
Yeah, I was out there.
Yeah.
I was out there.
No, he was right. You were there.
With my
backpacking.
bear spray.
Yeah.
My fishing line.
He had all that.
Snowshoeing. All that sort of stuff.
I told you he's very
fishing?
sneaky.
Not a lot of people out there. So you mentioned BA. COVID free. You mentioned BA tonight, obviously, Tom Brady and Bruce Arians. Tonight it's going to be the Bucs and it's going to be the Rams on Monday Night Football. And we're going to get into this with our special guest here in just a couple of minutes. But I want to mention this game, as you may have heard, is going to be the first game in the 101-year history of the National Football League in which every single official on the field is going to be African-American. Now, this is something the league announced a little over a week ago, and it's gotten tremendous acclaim. And before I talk to one of the most prominent African-American officials in league history, I just want to give a shout out, a little history lesson here, if you will, if you would oblige so much, especially with you two fellas. It's important to mention tonight a guy by the name of Burl Toller, B-U-R-L. Burl was the first African-American official ever in the NFL, and he was an outstanding player himself. Key, you would appreciate this, a guy that's a former player that went on to do great things. He played for the 1951 University of San Francisco Dons, which is generally known as a basketball school in the 60s, right? But this is the University of San Francisco Dons. He played with Gino Marchetti. He played with Ollie Matson. Those guys were inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The athletic publicity director, so like the communications director for that team, Pete Rozelle, who went on to become the NFL commissioner. So I just want to give a tip of the cap to Jerome Boger, who will be tonight's crew chief. We're going to talk to Mike Carey, who was one of the most prominent African-American officials in the NFL in just a moment. But just a tip of the cap, because always, as you guys know in sports, somebody's got to come first. Somebody's got to come first. And Burl Toller, who is no longer with us, he has died. But I just wanted to mention he's the first African-American official in NFL history. And tonight, fellas, every single guy on the field will be an African-American official. It's a really great moment.
No, it's cool. It's really going to be cool. And when you think about it, it's, things have come a long ways just in general in life and society as a whole. But to be able to put an entire crew together just shows you how far and how long the NFL has gone to do these things. I mean, it's great, and they put it on a national stage. They didn't have it on a Sunday, buried in the Detroit Lion. I don't know. Give me a bad team, Detroit and Jets game. In Detroit, they kind of Monday night big stage. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be real cool.
I think it's monumental. There's also a part of me. It's kind of like my dad, where I'm like, man, it's 2020. It took that long to do something like that. I guess you had to do it with intent, but the fact that it's done, that's what it should be, though, right? I mean, your referee should look like how the country looks, and it should be diverse, and that's the way it should be.
Well, I think it probably, in terms of the NFL, the diverse part of it, how many people are out there that's African American that how many really wanted to become referees, so to speak, right? Is there enough? To your point, though, Jay, maybe it should have been done a while ago, but it's being done tonight.
I understand. So, yeah. I'm with you.
That's the fun part about it. It's being done tonight.
This is going to be a little bit controversial, but it's like I see it. I recognize it. I don't know if I just stand up and applaud it. I feel like these are things like when you're a leader as far as organizations, you have to do things with intent, right? And that's why I said it's 2020. But it
takes sometimes, though, Jay.
It takes to be pushed. I agree.
It takes certain things to get people's attention.
That's true.
And then they realize, right? You know what? We might want to think about doing this. And maybe Troy Vincent mentioned it to him and got him to push to do it. and because everything else that's going on in our country, it's like, okay, all right, yeah, we're going to do it. Think about some of the commercials that you see now. Some of the commercials that you see now, you would have never seen 15, 20 years ago at all. You just wouldn't, you're just like, no, they would never run that. They would never show that. But now it's like everything that we've gone and we've been dealing with over the last year and a half or years.